Good morning, lovely souls. Happy Friday. From my heart to yours in the woods this morning, the very soggy woods again. We have been treated to more rain in the south of England, so I've actually donned my running waterproofs this morning, and hopefully they will keep me drier than I was the last time you saw me. So this is it now, we're on the other side of the solstice. We're in a period known as Yule on the pagan calendar, and that runs from the 21st of December up to the 1st. Now the period of time, the window of time that we're in at the moment, has also been allocated by the higher realms to provide this kind of like the Christ consciousness corridor. So all of you will be very highly aware of the vibrations that are coming in, but more to the point, how we would have perceived and received the Solstice Gateway on the 21st. I was running a workshop with David Essery on that night. The energies were absolutely incredible, and also the predictions or the outcomes for where we're going and what is actually happening with this particular solstice window are, I mean, you might hear it every year, you might hear it every solstice, but incredibly powerful. So all of these spiritual dates, the moons, the equinoxes, the solstices, every time there's an alignment in the heavens, we're currently in a Mercury retrograde, all of these are powerful, but none more so than the possibilities or the potential of the gateway that we've just walked through. So what is happening, you might have heard me talking a little bit about it before. Okay, now if you visualize or have a look at our planet for the last decade, how we've been, where we've been wired into, what has been our consciousness and our perception level, what we've been creating individually and co-creating as a whole, we have been a mixture or a jumble of very different levels of consciousness and energy, all in one lovely great big ascension soup. And this has become increasingly more challenging to navigate as we've got towards the date that we are living in at the moment. To begin with, in 2013, when we walked through the gateway of the cosmic moment, and the whole vibration of the planet changed from 3D to 4D overnight, we were kind of left a little bit, well, what was that? Well, what was all that about? All the excitement, all the preperceptions, all the fear. There was an awful lot of fear that was brought to the table about the cosmic moment, the 21st of December 2012, due to the fact that people were highly aware, both on a cellular level and a conscious information level, that it was the end of the world. Now, that was how the Mayans and other cultures with seer abilities described it. They said it was the end of the world. It's almost like a brick wall that they could see no further past. There was no capacity for prediction from that point onwards, because simply the energy would then change boundaries and formation and begin to create something else, but at a higher level. So, having been in that corridor of energy for 10 years, we've moved through the initial kind of like, oh, well, that wasn't very exciting about the cosmic moment, into 2013, 2014, 2015, where things have got not what I would describe as exciting, but extremely, we've all been called into work, we've all been called to work in whatever capacity. So we've had to work, and we've had to work hard. We've had to work to clear ourselves, we've had to work to clear the planet. We've had to work to decide and decipher which information is right for us, because we've been bombarded with it, particularly with the upsurge in social media, which has also happened in the last decade. If you kind of cast your mind back to this date 10 years ago, yes, we were all communicating with each other globally, but we didn't have the incredible light network that we have established now. There were pockets of us around the world, and we were dedicated, and we were on our pathway, and we were doing what we could under the circumstances at the time, but we were not in a formation like we are now. So much has changed in that 10 years. We've changed to the point energetically where we are unrecognizable now. Instead of being this kind of little minority scattered in our pockets around the planet, some of us still hiding because it wasn't appropriate to come out and show our light and reveal our angel wings to the world, and that's how we functioned, that's how we operated. We dealt with our own ascension process and the ascension process of the others that were revealed to us, but we weren't given the planetary dynamics that we have got now. Now things are very, very different. Okay, now we've walked through this 10 year, this halfway point, we've been on it for 10 years, things are about to change again. Now, when we say, or when the predictions are given for change, people think, or people tend, and this I'm included here as well, you think things are going to change immediately. You're going to wake up the next day, you're going to throw the curtains open. Oh wow, I've arrived in 5D utopia. That's it. Well, we've got a lot more work to do. Okay, we've got a lot more work to do, but that work is going to be of a different value. It's going to be of a different nature. We've had, or the planet has had, 10 years to get into the stream that will resonate with the vibration that is being set on this planet. So instead of having, and I'm getting to the point of this now, so these four kind of like spheres of consciousness, these alternative realities all living within each other, we see them all the time. And you've heard me talk about this before, like, you know, you go into the shops and some people are on one planet, other people are on another planet, you're on this planet, you might see somebody else who comes from the same sphere of, or planet of reality than you, and we can all identify this. And this isn't division, it's not division consciousness, it is simply acknowledging the way that energy works. Okay, so at this moment in time, these four spheres are currently, as I'm speaking, as we are going through this period up to the 1st of January, they are all being squashed together. Okay, so imagine this, imagine, if you will, the perception or the state of mind where you have not woken up yet. You are as plugged in as you possibly can be, but all of a sudden someone just comes into your house. You're going about your day in the 3D matrix, and life is life and whatever. And then somebody comes in, they're shining very brightly, and they start unplugging all your electrics. Okay, they turn your TV off, turn the radio off, they light a fire with your newspaper, and do all of this kind of thing. Change your social media channels, put something with 432 hertz on YouTube and make you listen to it. It's going to be a little bit like that. Okay, so, and if you can, with your eyes closed, just witness this compaction, or this unification of these four spheres of consciousness of reality, they are all getting pushed into one vibration. Now, you and I have been training to be at ease within this vibration. That's what all of the work of the last 10 years has been about. That's what all of these equinoxes and solstice gateways and powerful full moons and you know, life-changing retrogrades have been focused upon, to get us up to speed. And on a vibration level, we are up to speed. Okay, we might still be getting hit by the odd belt of light, and we have to stop, and we have to listen to our bodies. We have to change what we eat and drink, or we have to be very particular about who we and what we communicate with and about. So our, you know, and by that I mean it's our diet, our spiritual diet will support our vibration. And in many cases, the second we step off that pathway, we get knocked back into it. And so for some of us, it's been quite hard work. It's not only is it unfun, it's anti-fun. Okay, it's also means that we've got to be constantly aware of what we're doing, disciplined like spiritual Spartans. But that discipline pays off. All work, all effort, all positive focus and attention, anything that accrues karma on the right side of the on the right side of the fence gets dividends. Now, immediately at the moment, we might not be feeling like those dividends, that spiritual or physical abundance is available to us, but the course of correction is on its way, and over the next 10 years or so, we're going to see the steering of this vibration in one direction only. Okay, so this is it. This is what all of the intensity, this is what all of the build up, this is what kind of all the fuss has been about. Okay, to unify this consciousness into one stream of energy that is aligned with what this planet and all of us who signed that soul contract have agreed to do. Look around you at your brothers and sisters of light, and whether they are vibrating at that consciousness that you identify with, or whether they are ready to step up yet. You can see them all, every single one of them. Now, over the next year or so, I truly believe, and this is the information that's been coming to many of us, that we're going to see another mass wake up. Now, that mass wake up again is something that we're trained for. Now, previously, when people wake up very suddenly and they kind of go, oh my God, and they go into this state of shock, it's put more on us than we could cope with, because we were already dealing with our own ascension process. So 2020 and 2021 and the year that has just gone past, we feel a little bit as a light collective have struggled to deal with anything more being put on our plates than we can already deal with. It's almost like our own personal process has been so much to deal with that all of these extra goings on around us have just pushed us to the limit. And a lot of us are very tired. As we walk through this halfway point, as we walk through this Solstice gateway, many of us are saying, right, I'm going to step back now, or I'm not just going to step back, I'm going to change what I do, I'm going to change my terms of service. And that has been very much highlighted with if you watch either of my two previous videos, and especially the workshop that I did with Diana Cooper on Sunday and with David Essery on the Solstice, we are talking about the handing over of the golden robe. If you've missed that, you've probably seen it. So many of us who've been in the service of the golden robe, which is Lord Cthumi's brotherhood and sisterhood of the golden robe, where we've been taking on the pain of the world. Now, the pain of the world now becomes, in many ways, the responsibility of the people feeling it. The boundaries of our work changes. So we now become the support network for those stepping into the light, because it's not just one or two people that are waking up. It's not just a few dozen souls that are removing the blinkers from the third eye and like, wow, this is what it's all about. It's millions of people. So that field of support is vital, not just on a physical level so you can be there, but energetically it needs holding stable. So it needs grounding. The boundaries of the energetic sphere of reality need to be stabilized. There's an incredible amount of help coming in from the higher realms, but ultimately it's the boots on the ground here on planet Earth that provide the most support, or they provide the support that is the most needed for physical reality. Okay, so this coming year, don't expect to throw your curtains open today, tomorrow, on the 1st of January and see all this global change that we're looking for. It's going to be happening at a pace. But this pace is something that we're getting used to. Say a month or 2 months or maybe 3 months down the line, you cast your mind back and all of a sudden you realise how much has occurred in that short space of time, even though it appears to have passed in a blip. Everything seems to be very relative at the moment to our point of focus. So I was sat before the event on the Solstice with my friend David Essery, and we were like, it doesn't seem like 5 minutes ago since we were doing the Lion's Gate, since we were doing the summer solstice, or even the winter solstice event the year before. But huge amounts of change have occurred in the windows of time in between. So time is now relative depending on our point of focus. So it either expands or contracts depending on what we are experiencing, what we are doing, whether we are pouring love into what we do or whether we are just kind of going through the motions. These variables expand and contract the time frame in which we are experiencing. So the year coming up is going to move quickly, okay? It's going to move at a pace. Things will be presented to us on a need-to-know basis. So we don't get the amazing handouts that we were used to prior to the cosmic moment in 2012. A lot of us got used to be giving, oh, that's the information, that's what's going to happen. And you'd be able to take your time to tune into that situation and formulate a response, both energetic and physically. Now we've been conditioned to respond in the moment, to use what we've been taught and what we've been disciplined with to actually go about the jobs that we've incarnated to do. And those jobs are very important, okay? All of us, every single one of you listening to this, and many millions of others around the world who will never hear this message but might hear similar messages come through from the same kind of support pool, will all be in that support field, the field where we are holding that energy, where we are bringing through information, where we are providing answers or confirmation to things that people are seeing and feeling. But it will happen quickly, it will happen in real time. It will occur and we will respond to it, and we will formulate the field that we are going to create from the conditions that we are working with. And most of those conditions are now coming from the heart, okay? So even without thinking about what we're doing, we go about our business on a day-to-day basis, heart first. And if it's not something that comes automatically, then perhaps put that into a practice or a spiritual discipline. Wake up in the morning, place your feet on the floor, ground yourself within the first 30 seconds. Allow your body and your fields to align with the higher frequencies, because there are still all of these different fields of reality on the planet that we can be tuned into. Some of you might have been going out at night doing astral work, which means you've got to come back and you've got to have a nice shower and clean yourself up before you engage in daily reality. Or you might have gone home to somewhere nice like Arcturus during the course of the night, and then you come back and you get in your body and you're like, oh God, it's Earth again, kind of thing. This is how we work. So we are never still. Okay, as soon as we shut our eyes at night, we're off somewhere and we're working. And that's another thing that's added to this general overall sense of fatigue. So those of you that need to rest. Those of you that are stepping forwards now, step forwards. It's so beautiful to be able to witness and to feel. If you close your eyes, you tune in, the field of support of light in physical is vast. It's huge. It is so different from the way it was 10 years ago. So imagine what we're going to achieve now in the space of a year. Imagine what we will achieve within 2 years. And most importantly, just to finish up today, and again, this is something that I have said previously and I will say repeatedly, the outcome of this ascension process is not negotiable. Okay, it's not something that we are going to lose if something occurs. The the outcome of the planet moving through the ascension process has been preordained and organised and orchestrated since the beginning of our reality. So there is, despite what we may have experienced during the collapse of other civilizations at the fall of Atlantis, that doom scenario, that expectation of failure that we all naturally have kind of ingrained within our DNA, within our chakras, within our Akashic experiences, that is something that we're being presented with simply to clear, because it's not on the options list for where we're going. So don't worry about the shoutings of the 3D matrix, what they're proposing to do with the AI or the control grid and all of that network. It won't work. Okay, it's not applicable to where we're going. It's just what we would consider or describe as a last hurrah. Okay, so talking of last hurrahs, I'm now going to love you and leave you all. Go and get dry, have a cup of coffee, and I'm wishing you all a beautiful Christmas wherever you are in the world and how you are celebrating it. And I will be back on Monday for another Meditation Monday, and then next Friday will be the last update of the year. Sending you all so much love. Bye for now.